Alright, tonight we are going to make lemon risotto and roasted carrots. I've never made this recipe before, so this is brand new to me as well. And so first off, we're going to turn our Foodi on, and we're going to sear saute. We actually want it to be on medium-high, and I'm going to start it and let it preheat for about 5 minutes, and then we'll be ready to go on to the next step. Alright, well now that the Ninja Foodi has been preheated for 5 minutes on medium-high, I'm adding 1 tablespoon of olive oil to the pot, and the recipe calls for 1 clove of garlic minced, and so I'm going to add that into the pot and stir it for about 1 minute, and then we'll be ready to move on to the next little step here. So yeah, I like to make sure that my garlic doesn't burn, so I kind of just wait till it's nice and fragrant before I move on to the next step. It's entirely up to you. But like I said, I've never made this recipe before, so I am definitely learning as I go here, so yeah. It smells pretty good to me, so I think I'm going to go ahead and just move to the next step. Although it's probably only been like 30 seconds, but that's alright. And so the next step, you're going to add your vegetable broth, and it actually calls for 5 cups. So I have obviously 4 cups here in this measuring cup here. And then I have my extra 1 cup right here. And along with your vegetable broth, you are going to be adding in your 1/4 cup of lemon juice. I have a really awesome juicer, and it actually tells me exactly how much lemon juice I have in here, and this is actually just enough lemon juice from 1 lemon. And you're also going to add in your lemon zest, and that I just took off that lemon that I put in there with my little lemon zester, and it's 1 teaspoon. And I believe, I'm going to double check the recipe here, people. And then you're going to add your rice to the pot, and I've never cooked with this type of rice before, but I mean, it looks like it's going to be pretty tasty, so you will definitely see. And then we're also going to add 1 teaspoon, and that was 2 cups of rice, I'm sorry, and this is 1 teaspoon of salt. And with that, I'm going to stir this all up here. And then next, I believe we get to put our pressure cooking lid on here. I just want to make sure I got that lemon zest mixed in pretty well with everything here. And yes, so I will grab my pressure cooking lid here. And we are going to make sure that it is in the seal position over here. And it looks like we're going to pressure cook for about 7 minutes. So I'm going to come down here and press pressure. And I want it to be on high. I just want to double check here. Yes, it's going to be on high. Oops. And I'm going to set it for 7 minutes. And hit the start button. And then once that's done, we'll be ready to move on to the next step. Alright, so while your rice is cooking in the pressure cooker, this is 4 regular sized carrots cut diagonally, and it says that you actually get to mix them with the remaining tablespoon of olive oil. and your remaining 1 teaspoon of salt, which that looks like a lot, so we'll have to see how that turns out. And it does say 1 teaspoon of pepper, but we like pepper a lot in this house, so I'll probably go a little bit heavier than what the recipe says. And then yeah, you just kind of toss them around a little bit. Don't worry, my hands are clean. And once they're all mixed up, you're just going to let them kind of sit aside and marinate a little bit while your rice is cooking, and then we're going to add this all together here shortly. Alright, so this recipe is a little different than the other ones that I've used so far in the Ninja Foodi. Once it is done pressure cooking, it automatically switches to keep warm, and it'll actually start the timer and it's counting up. This recipe calls that you let it naturally release the pressure for about 10 minutes. So I am actually going to set my timer on my fridge for about 10 minutes. And then once the 10 minutes is up, I will actually do the quick release pressure. So yeah, we'll be back in about 10 minutes. So my timer just went off for the 10 minutes of natural pressure releasing. And now I'm actually going to do the quick release. And so I'm going to just set it to the vent, and then once it's done venting, I will move on to the next step. Alright, now that it has completely released all the pressure, I am going to unscrew the lid. Careful, that's not. Maybe. Get my little cooperate. And I'm going to add in the 2 tablespoons of butter. It does say to use unsalted butter, but I just had country crock in the fridge, so that's what I'm going to use. It says that you're actually going to stir in these 2 tablespoons until they're well incorporated before you're actually going to use the reversible rack to put your carrots on. So and again, I've never made this before, so bear with me here. This is a brand new recipe for me. But so far it looks really good. Let me make sure. Looks like we got a little bit more butter to get mixed in here before I put my rack in here, so just want to make sure it's all mixed in before I move on to the next step here. So and to me it looks like we're pretty well good. It looks like all the butter has been mixed in, so I'm going to grab my rack. Excuse me. And it says you actually want to have it placed in the high position, which this is the high position, because as you can tell, if you lift up the legs, you'll end up in the lower position. So, and you just go ahead and nestle that guy right there. And your carrots that you already mixed with the olive oil and the black pepper and salt, you're just going to place on the rack. Just want to double check and make sure. Yes. And you'll probably want to evenly space them out if you can, because you're supposed to cut them 3/4 inch thick. So I just want to make sure that none of them fall through. They shouldn't if I cut them correctly. So I'm just going to kind of place them. I'm almost done. Then we can close the lid and get these bad boys cooking in here. So, all right. So now that they're all in there, you're actually going to close your lid and we're going to broil. So you'll click the broil function here. Let me just double check. And you want to set the timer for 8 minutes and hit start. And then in 8 minutes it should be done and we can move on to the final step. Alright, well now that the Ninja Foodi is done, we're going to go ahead and lift the lid. And you're going to actually take out your carrots. Oh, one carrot jumped ship. That's alright though. And we're going to set the carrots over here. And then the last step, you're actually going to mix in 1.5 cups of Parmesan cheese into your risotto here.
Looks good. Hey, what do you think? Huh? What do you think?
And so once the cheese is all mixed in here, you're going to put the carrots on top and then it's pretty much ready to go. So, and that's pretty much it.
Hey, dinner's done. Hey, are you gonna eat some? Huh? Say hi. Say hi. Beep, beep. Yeah, are you getting excited? Are you excited for dinner? Huh?
That's good. I don't know. So yeah, whenever you're done. Oh, you're gonna watch me plug them back in there. Ouch! Yeah, make sure you definitely have your glove on. Yeah, basically dump those on top and that's pretty much it.